Hello, everyone. It's Tuesday late morning. I want to show you a couple of trade opportunities that set up today intraday via the MACD KISK stochastic overbought oversold setups that I've been showing. So these three charts here, this is of MES futures. I'm showing a 3-minute, 2-minute, and 1-minute. Again, this method is fractal, but as you know, this morning the market was rallying very strongly last night all into the morning. You could see it here, 4:30 a.m. S&P was 37.26. Just continued to rally all morning. It was up like near 80 points at the morning high here around 7:54 a.m. Then we got the open, and market quickly topped out. Now you had a couple very objective short trade opportunities here via that MACD KISS stochastic setup that I've discussed. So again, here is a 3-minute chart on the left. So here's your moving average ribbon. Again, that's not part of this system, but it's something I like to look at. Here's this, it's just a standard MACD, not using any special settings, and here's a slow stochastic. I'm using a 5 length. Okay, so what I like to see is you've been trending in one direction, like here. Your MACD finally has a really good cross to the downside, like you see here, and then it's that first move up here where the MACD starts to pinch, but it doesn't cross, and at the same time your stochastic indicator gets overbought. So it's overbought here, and like I said, I like to enter on a trigger. So if you look here, you have a doji candlestick, indecision candle. You have a big up wick and a big down wick tail. So one logical trigger would be placing a sell stop, one trigger below this. Hard to move this trend line here, but basically one tick below this doji. I'll just use this horizontal ray. So I would place a sell stop one tick below that doji, and then I put an immediate sell or buy stop one tick above there. So my entry is defined, my risk is defined, and you trigger here, price goes up, almost hit your stop, but it doesn't, and you end up having a very nice trade, as you can see. So you would have triggered here. The low of this candle was 3796.75, so 3769.50 would have been your trigger, and you look, if you sold in here, I mean, that's a good 15 points just into here. So depending on what your exit is, it could be multiple things. You can scale out, right? So one target would be the stochastic simply getting back oversold here, which means you could have sold this candle. um, you know you could scale out and try to get a little more. It depends on what you're doing. Okay, but that was a great setup here. And the other thing that the reason I like to look at multi-time frames. So if you look here, I got a 5-minute, a 3-minute. So if I look at my other time frames, on my 1-minute here, I have this cycle indicator, and I had a sell cycle right here show up on the 1-minute that just corresponded perfectly with this doji candlestick. So that was a nice confirming thing as well. Again, you don't need to have it. I just like to see those type of things. Next, you see after that initial sell-off, then price rallied, had a lower high bounce. You had the same setup essentially occur again. Notice here your moving average ribbon was bearishly pinched. Your stochastic didn't quite get over 80, but again, as long as it gets close, your MACD was pinching. And again, you can look at your other time frames. If you look at your 2-minute, you had a really tight little doji here, a better trigger candle than you had on your 3-minute. So if you're looking at your 3-minute, instead of setting a sell trigger below this big candle or this one, you had a really tight doji right here instead that you could have used, just right there, and simply set a stop right above here. Now, you looking at my 1-minute, if you look here, we also had a sell cycle show right up there. So having my sell stop just above that resistance cycle was great, right? Then you had another big sell off, another bounce. Your stochastic short setup again. Now on the 3-minute this time you had a nice tight doji, so you didn't need the smaller time frame really to have a good trigger. So right here was your trigger, and then right here your stop. So very tight. Now in your other time frames again, did we have a little sell cycle on the 1-minute? We did, but it didn't show up till here. But again, you see my point. I can look at the multi-time frame analysis. So you had nice 3 very objective short setups. One here, one here, and one here. So we've had 3 of them now since that 8:30 time frame. And I'm Central Standard Time, by the way. So there you go, a nice example of that. Just very simple MACD, KISS, stochastic setup. These were shorts. Again, the reverse works for longs. Like for example, this morning, let's see if we see a couple longs. Here's a couple examples where you had the MACD, KISS in the morning. This stochastic didn't get oversold. This one did, so you could have tried to do a little long trigger here. But again, nice objective setup here. I use this for day trading a lot of times, but again, it is fractal. This is a 3-minute, but I could throw this on a 30-minute or a 60-minute or a daily. It works the same. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day. Take care.